Zidane Danny, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. In today's video, we are going to be talking about... oh boy... Miraculous. But more specifically, we are going to be talking about the 6 episodes that we have names for. Basically, as of right now, we currently have, like I said, 6 episodes that have been given names. Now, unfortunately, there's not much else to go on, but unfortunately, at least 2 of these episodes are already scheduled to be releasing here in America in July, which, oh boy, that's gonna be fun. But luckily, as of right now, we at least have the names for every single episode up through episode 14, which is going to be Senta Bubbler, and then we also have Rocketeer. So so in this video, basically what we're going to do is I'm going to be going through each of these 6 episodes and basically giving a quick plot theory. No more than a plot theory. These are not going to be going too in depth, basically because all we have right now is the names. But I will be talking briefly about different things that people have given me as basically these could be possibilities. So first off, we should talk about episode 5, which takes place right between Mr. Pigeon and Furious Fu, which is called Psycho Median. Now, obviously, with this situation, you would probably expect that this would probably be, actually, of all of these characters, probably one of the only new characters that we're going to be getting in this season. Possibly we could be getting a few more within some of these other episodes, but this really feels like this is going to be a new character. Unlike a lot of these other episodes, which really have been older characters getting redone, this feels like a new character. But someone who's going to be really involved with the characters. And one of the things that really comes to mind, though, is that of possibly this person is someone that Alya sends Marinette to. Basically someone who is able to basically help Marinette in deciding what she wants to do now. Because remember, in Mr. Pigeon 72, Marinette was told by Kagami that Marinette and Adrian were meant for each other. And at this point, Marinette is very much struggling with what relationship she wants to go through. And obviously, now that she's figured out how to do the magical charms, she's not going to be having as much difficulty, but it still raises that question of what exactly is she going to do with this. And I think that whoever this person is, Psycho Median, could be someone who is going to give her a decent discussion. Now, obviously, I think that there's also going to be those people who are going to be saying, what you're doing is fake, what you're doing is disgusting, and all of these things, when possibly this person is basically just going to be trying to help people. Not necessarily, possibly not even taking money, depending on the situation. Obviously, I'm a bit worried. I don't believe in this stuff, but it's definitely a possibility, and I could actually see that perhaps Thomas Ostruck did want to do something with it. I'm not certain, though. This is one of those that's going to be a really challenging episode to really pin down until we actually get a synopsis of it. The next episode is Gabriel Agreste, which we have had the name for a long time. Basically, it was one of the first episodes that we got a name for, and it came out around the same time as Queen Banana, which, keep in mind, when I originally did my Queen Banana theory, I also did a Gabriel Agreste theory. Both of which, at this point, are completely wrong, and I figured that out long before this actually happened. Now, here's the thing. I could see Gabriel Agreste being a lot of things. More than likely, though, it's not actually going to have someone get akumatized. Some people have said that there's the possibility that Gabriel is going to try to akumatize himself as basically a way to try and figure out how he can get the magical charm. Because as of right now, a lot of different people have gotten these magical charms, especially with Chloe just getting one. And that would have been a really big moment for him, because right at the end of Queen Banana, Gabriel sees that these magical charms are not actually effective, or are very effective with keeping his Akumas out. Due to the fact that we did see that Guilt Trip is coming out soon, or comes shortly after that, it does raise a few questions, though, on whether or not what exactly he did with that information, or if he even did any information. Wait, why did I say Guilt Trip? I should have said Optigami. The point is that I kind of doubt that this... he may have gotten a magical charm, but he's definitely not going to be using it as soon as we think he might. And other than that, I really have no idea. Like I said, there is the high chance that no one's going to get akumatized, or a whole bunch of people are going to get akumatized, and most of the story is going to be focusing on who Gabriel Agreste is. And quite possibly a lot of Marinette and Adrian working together to basically try and figure out who exactly is Hawkmoth. Is he actually someone... Who exactly is he? Is he Gabriel Agreste, because that is the most likely option, or is he possibly someone else? And basically they're going to start investigating Gabriel Agreste. Possibly. Like I said, not really certain. This one's a really tough one to say for sure. Next one, though, is Mega Leech, which, again, sounds like it's going to be a completely new character. There's really nothing to say for what exactly this character could be, but more than likely, whatever this is going to be something that sucks away the power of others. Possibly, I'm thinking that it could have something to do with Sabrina, actually. I'm not 100% certain, but due to the fact that she has already had her powers as Miraculous, basically being able to copy the powers of others to use for herself, I could see this being a similar situation once again. But at the same time, I don't know. This is just too vague of a name to really pinpoint exactly what it could be, which is annoying, actually. Unfortunately, these episodes are just not enough information in order to go off of, so unfortunately we're just gonna have to wait to really say for sure. But before we actually continue with these other three, hopefully you guys will enjoy this ad from Quixote. Enjoy.
I was lost in the dungeon of despair. My only hope was Quixote. The heat of battle is intoxicating, a fate from which I will never recover. I don't care. No one could tell me where to find it. I must ascend to higher levels of experience. No, you don't. You want to know how grindy it is? So grindy. She left and took everything with her in the realm of fantasy. The ruler is Quixote.
Oh, the smell of it.
And welcome back. So, we just talked about Mega Leech. So now it's time to talk about Crocodile. Something tells me that this has something to do with Jagged Stone, but more specifically talking about Fang, because of the fact that that's Fang is his crocodile. And something just tells me that it has some connection to do with that. Also, there's just not enough rock villains, because let's be honest, the rock villains that are throughout this show are honestly amazing. I'm kind of hoping that XY gets akumatized soon, so that we can just laugh at his expense. But a lot of these other characters, at this point, I'm really hoping that it is something to do with Jagged Stone. But there's honestly not enough information. But what I could see it also being is instead of just being about Jagged Stone, I could actually see this also being about Luca, dealing with a lot of the issues that are going on between Luca and his father, which of course is Jagged Stone, which unfortunately, just due to the fact that we're mostly focusing on Marinette, as well as Alia, we haven't really gotten the chance to see what exactly is going on with Luca, because he's basically the other big character that has a lot of stuff going on with him right now. I mean, Kagami is kind of solved. Basically, all of her problems are solved. I do expect that there will be something eventually where she and Luca are going to have some connection, but as of right now, I have no idea. But the relationship between Jagged and Luca is just beginning. So, could Crocodile be about that? I think that it's at least a big possibility. And also, that episode happens right between Guilt Trip and Optigami, which, speaking of which, that actually makes me think that perhaps the person that's going to be getting a Miraculous in this episode may actually be Julica, as we know that Julica is going to be getting the Miraculous of the Tiger within this season, along with basically everyone in the class is going to be getting a Miraculous at some point. But as of right now, the only person who has gotten a Miraculous so far has been Rose, with the only person that's besides that who's really had a Miraculous at all throughout these episodes has been, well, Alia. And now Alia has her Miraculous full time, which, speaking of which, Senti Bubbler, which, I am really excited to see this happen. We have actually gotten a few images for this, which is actually pretty surprising. And yeah, honestly, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this is going to play out, because there's just not enough information. But part of me is thinking that this is going to be something to do with the fact that now that Alia is working a lot more closely with Marinette and basically Ladybug, I think that Nino is going to be getting a little bit jealous, and that's why he's going to become, he's not going to become it, but Senta Bubbler is going to become a thing. And basically, because of that, Marinette, Alia, and Adrian are going to have to deal with that. But I also think that this might be the moment where Adrian finally tells his truth to Nino. The fact is that I've been feeling for a long time that before too long we need to get an episode to basically deal with Nino and Adrian, to focus on Adrian specifically, because Adrian is going through some crazy stuff. I mean, Lies is a huge example of it, but we really haven't been focusing on Adrian at all throughout this season. Besides that, Gang of Secrets, he's basically just there as a brief moment, basically just helping Marinette out to save everyone. I mean, sure, he is involved, but he's not as involved as Marinette is. We're not able to see how the breakup between him and Kagami is affecting him. Mr. Pigeon 72, he is completely sidelined. Furious Fu, we only see him as Cat Noir. Soul Crusher, I mean, sure, he is a little bit involved, but he's still not very much. And was he even in Queen Banana? Well, I guess he was in there a little bit. But basically with that, it's just saying, no, I'm not going to be your friend anymore, Chloe, which that was good, but at the same time, it just didn't feel enough. I guess there's a lot to it. Guilt Trip did have him a decent amount, dealing with the fact that he is actually really struggling, and we get to see that. I think that that's actually a really important thing, because Marinette didn't really struggle that much with the whole guilt situation because of the fact that she has someone that she can rely on now. who she can talk to about her situation. But Adrian doesn't, and he gets heavily affected by guilt trip and is forced to confront that situation. And again, even though we had the elevator scene in Optigami, that was basically the only scene that had... basically, those scenes were his main part of Optigami. Sure, he showed up every now and again, but it was so minor, and it felt like there needed to be something else within there. Something to really help him develop. It feels like he's being sidelined, and I think that Senta Bubbler may just be that episode that he needs. Now, the last episode that we currently have a name for is that of Rocketeer. Now, unfortunately, though, this is episode 17. We don't have episode 15 or 16's names, nor do we have anything 18 and onward, which is a bit annoying to say the least. But with Rocketeer, I think that there's a few things to keep in mind. First off, it's Rock-Iteer. So obviously, I'm thinking it's going to be another rock villain, like Crocodile. And depending on who it is actually pretty tricky and hard to figure out. Basically, I'm thinking that it could be any one of the many rock villains that we've had so far. Possibly even being a new one, with some introducing a new band into the situation. Obviously, like I said, Crocodile could have been a similar thing. But I think that, again, this could be an episode that's going to be heavily focusing on Luca and his family, and basically how they're exactly dealing with it. I could also see that there is another possibility that it could also be a bit more connected to actual rocks, and thereby possibly being about Stoneheart. And I don't know, there's a lot to it, but based off the fact that it's Rocketeer, I could see it also being something to do with The Rocketeer, which is a really popular older movie that is about someone who literally has a rocket strapped to their back. I know that most of my people who are watching this probably have no idea about that, and I don't remember enough about it to actually piece this theory together. But I think that there's a possibility that it is slightly connected. So maybe after I rewatch it or something, or we get some actual plot synopsis, then I will actually be delving back into this one to actually try and figure out what exactly is going on. But unfortunately, we don't know, and things are going to probably just get crazier as we move on with Miraculous and get ready for the rest of the season. We still have about half of a season left to go, and honestly, at this point, I could actually see Netflix or Disney Plus getting the first half of the season ready to go, especially considering the fact that both, like I said, Rocketeer and Senta Bubbler are both coming to Disney Channel in July, so definitely something to talk about when the time actually comes. But anyways, guys, I'm curious what you guys think. So if you guys have any thoughts or theories, please leave them down in the comments below. And if you are going to leave a theory, make sure to say theory review somewhere in your comment so that we can talk about it in a future video. Of course, if you guys speaking of which, actually, because of theory review, I'm not certain if I actually mentioned it, but the Gabriel Agreste looking for the trying to get a magical charm, that was actually a suggestion from one of you guys. I don't remember who it was, but yeah, I don't know if I said that, so I'm saying it now. So if I didn't, I'm sorry. That's who it is. Thank you, whoever you were. That actually did inspire me a bit. Anyways, if you guys are new, please subscribe and ring that notification bell because it helps us out a lot more than you may think. And of course, if you guys do want to support the channel, oh wait, I might not have said this, but please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. If you guys would like to support the channel even more, then definitely head down to the description and check out all of our links down there, including our social medias, our other channels, and ways you can support us financially, including the merch store, the book, and of course our Patreon, which a big thank you to our current patron, Sheeny. But anyways, guys, I have been Electro Ninja, and I will see you guys next time. But on!